Hello to all you Scorpios and welcome for your monthly horoscope for June of 2020. I hope you are well in these crazy surrealistic times, and let's have a look at what June is all about. What is June all about? Well, it's a very eventful month because I'm going to be talking about eclipses. There is Mercury retrograde, there is Venus going direct, and there is the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, very scorpionic energy. But let's start with the eclipses. So we're going to have an eclipse on the 5th of June in Sagittarius. So the moon will be in Sagittarius, will be with the south node. So this is about letting go, shedding of old skin. You do know what I'm talking about, Scorpios. And this is happening in your second house, the house of value, the house of money. So there could be a transformation, a sort of a letting go of old values, things that you valued before that you're not going to value anymore. Maybe you have been doing, the best option is actually that you have been doing a bit of a cleanup there. You know, old clothes, books that you're not reading anymore, that are not really resonating with your energy anymore. Out with that. It's a good time to do so. Hopefully you have not been one of those people, of course, during these times that financially will have to restrict yourself a little bit. Now, talking about restriction, these eclipses, for those of you who are interested in astrology, they belong to the Saros family number 4 North, and this is about blockages. So it's about acting after the eclipses are done, which is next month. But all in all, for you, it has to do with maybe you need to let go of a certain asset, for instance. Maybe you have 2 cars, I don't know, and because of circumstances, you have to sell another car. Now, all these things that demand flexibility on your behalf, but at the same time, there is this opposite, the North Node, and where now Venus is going direct at the end of the month, around the 26th of June, you're having there very positive energy in your 8th house. And that is actually money of other people or money that you share with others. That can increase. So you can have much more support of others. And I know for Scorpio, normally they are the ones who support others. They don't want to get too, involved in support because they have this feeling of, I owe them something or whatnot. And also the 8th house is the house of trust. It's the scorpionic house. And most Scorpios, they do have, I'm not going to say issues with trust, but they are very careful before they trust someone. But now it's gonna work in your advantage to ask for help if you need them, and not only on a financial level, but also on an emotional level, or someone offers you their skills and abilities to help you out, or whatnot. All these things, be open for that, because there is where this North Node is transiting very recently. And it's also, so it's you have a year and a half to learn about trustfulness towards other people, but also asking for help when you need to. Again, not an easy thing here, but you've got time to do this. And I think eventually it will lead again towards you having better financial stability, basically. So, and that's what this is all about, this transformation process for you. Now, there's another eclipse on the 21st of June. I think this will be an easy one for you because it's in Cancer, and Cancer is also a fellow water sign. And it's in your 3rd house. So it's a lot about this, 9th house. So it's a very mental energy here. So the other eclipse is more on a mental level. Is more on, it's on the 21st of June, the sun together with the moon in Cancer at 0 degrees of Cancer, the North Node with it. Although it will be at the very end of Gemini, it's still seen as an eclipse. It's still seen as a conjunction, so to speak, and as an eclipse. So a conjunction with the North Node is about new beginnings. It's about something new, planting a seed here. And for you, it's your 9th house, which has to do with your mindset, which has to do with an open mindset, a broader mindset, a broader perspective. For some of you, it could also mean a possibility again to travel, because what's going on in the world, there might be an opening up there. In the country where you live, that international faraway countries, you can connect with that easier, you can travel easier. But there's also at the same time a Mercury retrograde going on the 19th in that same 9th house. So be very mindful of that when you travel, because there could be delays, there could be things that are postponed because of the Mercury retrograde. You've got it in that, 9th house of faraway travel. So there could be changes there in that respect. Also with studies. So if you're studying, or there could be some things going backwards and forwards again as well. Or if you were writing, it's a good thing. This Mercury retrograde is a good thing when you are writing a book and you're editing and all of that. Therefore, this Mercury retrograde is ideal between the midst of June up until the midst of July. The 13th of July, it goes direct again. So, or learning something new, or learning something that you've already learned, maybe a workshop or this or that, it's good for you. But again, be mindful when it comes to traveling. Then another thing is that it's going to be quite a social month. I know. A lot of people said to me, during these horoscopes, but you said social and we're in a lockdown. Hey, hello. That doesn't mean to say that you cannot be social. I know it's not the same. Absolutely. And especially for a Scorpio, you want the depths and the realness and the rawness. And the internet has a superficiality because of that. It is already better than nothing. But this month, I think you're going to be quite social, and especially on internet stuff. Why? Because there is a connection, and a very positive one, Jupiter-Pluto connection in your 3rd house. And the 3rd house is the house of communication, it's the house of the neighborhood, but it's going to link with your 11th house of Virgo. At the end of the month, we're going to have a beautiful Earth trine. And it's between, the moon will be in Virgo in your 11th house of social connections, like-minded people, new possibilities and hope and aspirations. Also the money that you earned if you are having your own business, it's trining with the 3rd house with Jupiter-Pluto connection. So we already had a Jupiter-Pluto conjunction at the end of March, beginning of April. And now again we have it, and another time in November. But these are chances of growth, of expansion. Jupiter is there with Pluto. Pluto represents a lot of the energy of the Scorpio. This is transformation, but at the same time, big expansion is possible. So if you've been thinking about the internet, or doing a YouTube channel, or doing an internet shop, or doing a blog, all these things are very much favored for you, dear Scorpios. So go for it. And it's happening around the last week of June. So there could be a windfall there. On another level, it's about publicity as well. Publicity, buying and selling, marketing. It's all very favored for you at the very end of the month. Now, we haven't talked about relationship yet, but your 7th house is not really activated, but your 5th house is activated by Mars. Mars is in a fellow water sign in Pisces, although it squares up to Venus, but I think because it's in a fellow water sign for you, it's not going to be that bad. Mars in your 5th house is very enjoyable for romance. It is with Neptune though, so stay with the feet on the ground. After this whole Venus-Neptune thing is over, which will be the 1st week of August. So if you're meeting someone new, just be careful. Just don't do too much. Don't push too much. Don't force too much. See what goes on and enjoy it. But it's definitely a time for also doing different stuff, a bit of trial and error for having fun again, if you haven't had it the last couple of weeks or months. Because Mars's activity and the fifth house is the house of enjoyment. It's the house of how you enjoy yourself, but also a very creative house. So all this creative energy can also mean that you're going to be a bit out of the background. It's more a detail here that I'm talking about, but still it can be very enjoyable for you to express yourself through art, through a hobby, a sport, swimming, because it's in a water sign, in Pisces. So try to do, if you haven't done already, of course, but try to do some hobbies as well that gives you this feeling that you are connected with the whole, and you will be fine. Having said that, I wish you a very, very good month. Stay healthy and enjoy yourself. As I said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the comments, the personal readings and whatnot. See you next month. Bye bye.